Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I'm your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aquarius in August 2019. Hello, Aquarius. What's going on? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. All right, Aquarius, what's happening, man? Here you are, second to last sign. It's not, I think around the 10th or 11th is usually when I get Aquarius and Pisces done, so I think I'm technically on time for you guys. But in general, maybe you might consider this to be a slightly late video for a monthly reading, but guys, this is just how my channel is right now. Due to, I work a full-time job, I do personals, I do these, I like to have a social life, I like to relax. Sometimes I like to feed myself, it's just, there's only so many hours in a day that I can get this done. So anyway, I'm glad that you're here today with me, Aquarius. I hope your summer's going well. Mine is going swimmingly. I had a great birthday and I'm feeling pretty good about stuff. So hopefully you're feeling the same, if not better. All right, guys, I shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. We'll shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. You can look in the description for the timestamp if you want to jump ahead. Also down in the description box is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. You simply follow the steps. I do my part, you do your part, and everybody's a happy camper. But if you have any questions before you place an order, you may ask them beforehand. And if you need to clear something up, if you're not sure on what you're getting, you can just ask me whatever you like, okay? I mean, so long as it's like not about a reading, like, you can ask me about the process or like what to expect, but you don't say, hey, am I gonna fall in love? And then like, you don't place an order. That's not a question. Anyway. Let's go ahead and get the, let's go ahead and get your outcome, Aquarius, for August 2019, okay? Let me see the outcome for Aquarius in August 2019. I want to see Aquarius's outcome in August 2019. Please show me. Ooh. There it is. Right? There we go. Bottom of the deck is the overall. Pardon me. Nothing came face down. So we've got nothing to flip. That's kind of rare. And it's so funny. A little while ago, I did a Capricorn's reading, and all of their cards came face down, except for the bottom of the deck, of course. So that's kind of interesting. You guys are like totally opposite. Everything is out there in the beginning. So let's figure it out, though. Please, oh, hold on. There. How's that look? Because that was, my foot was not in the right space, or not in the right spot. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Please show me where Aquarius is in August 2019. Please show me Aquarius in August 2019. Please show me. Okay. Whew. Nice. All right, guys, coming into your reading, you come in with the Queen of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Some of you might be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. Well, as for this being your starting position, Aquarius, I would say you've got a lot going on emotionally. I think there's a lot on your plate. You might be feeling a lot more than normal. What does that mean? You just might be more focused on your emotional contentment and happiness and your emotional health and well-being than you might normally be. I think maybe sometimes, Aquarius, you get not distracted, but it's not your forte to be this overly emotional person or the driving force behind you isn't usually your emotions. It can be sometimes, but mostly, you're driven from your mentality, your intellect, the way that you envision the world, you know what I mean? Or the way that you hope the world could be. And I think the compassionate side that is underneath your typical intellectual mindset is kind of like, it's flipped. Like, I think the compassion and the care and the empathy and sympathy is really at the forefront, and sort of in the backseat for now is the intellect and the I don't want to say imaginative, but certainly, how would I phrase that? I can't really phrase that right now. Idealistic, maybe. Aquarius sometimes can be idealistic for good or for bad. And I think you're kind of getting into the raw emotions of something or into your own emotions, and there's just like this emphasis on what do I feel about this, not what I think about or what do I, you know, hypothesize would be a great way to move forward or a great way to see improvement here. It's like, but how do I feel about what I'm thinking? How do I feel about what I'm doing versus do I believe in it? Do I find value in it? Like, there's a little bit of a nuanced difference in that. Often, I think Aquarius, because you are an air sign, obviously, related to Gemini and Libra, and you have that tendency to lean towards the mental capacity, right? But you're Aquarius. You are the water bearer, so you do have water qualities within you innately, just because of that. So, and you know, as far as the tarot, your major arcana is the star. So you definitely have, of the air signs, you're probably the least concerned with like textbook knowledge. You know, you're probably less concerned about historical fact. You're much more interested in what we can make, how the future can be rewritten. I hope you get what I'm saying. And so that's what I think is coming through here with this Queen of Cups for you, is not only the logical or intellectual focus on what can I do, or how is this going to impact my life? How can this or this situation improve my life? Should I be, like, all the questions you're asking are really coming from a more emotional standpoint or foundational point. Okay. It's not as logical as you normally would be. And given your other two pals, Gemini and Libra, you're probably, again, the least interested in the by the book ways of being quote unquote intellectual or intellectualizing something. You're really much more capable than the others of thinking outside the box and putting yourself in a subjective point of view, which, again, for good or for bad. Because, again, I think Aquarius, you know, if I'm honest, I think of the three air signs, you're probably the most empathetic. And again, it's because you do have that undercurrent, no pun intended, but you do have that undercurrent or that underlying water quality to you, okay? So this Queen of Cups, I think it's mostly you. It could be someone else. You could have a Queen of Cups in your life who is the focal point of concern in your life. They don't have to be a female. They can be, you know, any gender. And if so, this person would be exuding or really highlighting in themselves or in you or in the situation, like the more sensitive or vulnerable aspects of their character or your character or the dynamic between you. There's like a lot of emphasis on love first, empathy, caring, compassion, and nurturing. I almost said nursery, so maybe somebody works in a nursery. You know, maybe they work in a kindergarten or something like that. And that could happen, you know, a caretaker of a sort, maybe also nurses. Like, what is the word I'm looking for? Nurses, damn it, they're nurses. So it could be someone who just has this lovely embracing quality about them where, you know, they can shoulder somebody's burden or they can shoulder somebody's pain, or they'll lend an ear to a friend who's going through a stressful time in their life. It could be you, or it could be someone else, or it could be you and other people, like mirroring each other or being very similar. And I think it's not necessary, but I think this is sort of like a breath of fresh air for you, Aquarius. A lot of times that air sign quality is in you where you're up in the clouds and you forget to come back down to reality. Now, the Queen of Cups isn't so earthbound, but she's certainly closer to the lower atmospheres than an air sign might be sometimes. So I think there's like this realization or recognition of how a part of your reality this person is, or how a part of reality you are. Because, you know, that's another archetype of Aquarius is you get, you know, sort of this rap or this you're sometimes pegged to be like a space cadet, like out to lunch, out in left field, like an alien, just like so not of this planet, of this plane. And I think that this person kind of reels you in, or you're reeling yourself in. This aspect of you is kind of pulling you back down to the lower atmosphere, reminding you like, hey, we might be from another planet, but we live on this planet currently. Let's deal with what we're dealing with here today, right? So there's a slight more slightly more, there you go, slightly more realization of what reality you're living in. Okay, that also didn't really clear it up, but I hope that made sense. So I like it because there's just a lot of tender love and care kind of feeling coming from this person or this energy, whether it's you or someone else. What else is going on? Ooh. So we take this. Yeah, we're taking this. Oh. Ah. Previous was. That's interesting. Okay. Because there's two people here. Well, two characters, I should say. And I think they're experiencing things slightly differently. Okay. So some of you are dealing with another person, regardless of how they are. And they're on a slightly lower level than you are. Very similar, but slightly lower. And they would be in your conscious, they're in your mind. So you have the Page of Cups right above you in your starting position. So very similar to some of the qualities I was mentioning with the Queen of Cups, only slightly on a lesser scale. Because if you think of the court cards, they go in ascending order: page, knight, queen, king, right? Nothing about, gender hierarchy or social hierarchies. It's really about experience. It's really about what they bring to the table and what they're able to deal with. And the page is not able to deal with or come into a situation as boldly or as accomplished and as full-figured or fully realized as the Queen of Cups would. So this page is quite a novice. This page is new to the game, is just discovering things, and is just breaking into the scene, or like I said, coming into some sort of realization. But the qualities of care and compassion and wanting honest communication or connection with people, coming from a place of love and affection, is still there. But there's a lack of experience, and there's still, like, if you can kind of look at the artwork, there's still like this, like, we're already getting a profile with the Queen of Cups. We're not being faced head on with her energy. We're seeing a profile of her, right? With this, we're even seeing like less of a profile of the page. The page is like more turned away. So somebody, it could be, and pages can speak to children. So some of you, this could be, your kid, regardless of how old they are, regardless of how old you are. You could be this page, and we could be talking about your parent, your mom or your dad is the Queen of Cups, or anybody of significance in your life who is either older or more mature in some type of way. So the page is not able to really give us the full show. And, the air around this page, or the scene around this page, is much more murky. It's darker in tone. We've got that big blob of black on the bottom there versus all the light colors in the Queen of Cups, right? So there's still a bit of mystery. There's still a little bit of fogginess with this Page of Cups, but I feel that there's an earnest and honest intention behind this person, even if they're not able to execute. They want to be able to be on the Queen's level, to perform in a way similar to her, if not the same as her. And I'm only saying her because it's a queen. We could be talking about two dudes here. It does not matter. And there's just like, not missteps. Perhaps it's about timing. Like, if you thought about it like traveling, like sort of like one of those old algebra problems from high school. If Tony begins his journey at 9:05 a.m., driving 35 miles per hour, blah, 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 and then Deborah starts her journey at, 10:15 a.m., driving 25 miles an hour, and if they both keep these paces, when will Tony and Deborah arrive at their destination? It's just like, I'm not good at math, but based on what I just, pulled out of the top of my head, Tony would get there first. Regardless, he left earlier, he's driving at a faster pace, he's going to get there before Deborah. Deborah will arrive slightly after Tony. But then, of course, in reality, in a real algebra problem, they would they would change it up and make it so whatever. But you see what I mean? So I think that this Queen of Cups has just been doing this work longer, has been on this journey, or has developed these skills, or has been in touch with her feelings and is able to to express them, and is able to connect with compassion with other people a lot longer than the Page has. That's just the facts. So again, if this is about a parent-child relationship, the parent is older than the child. Not to say that age is everything and age determines experience and age determines maturity, but they often correlate, you know? They often go hand in hand with one another. Not all the time, but often. And that's the thing. You know, given that this is cups, given that this is tarot, it could be flipped. The Page of Cups could be the parent, and the Queen of Cups could be the child, due to experience. So the parent could be irresponsible, immature, or less mature, less responsible than the child would be. I mean, we've all, if not experienced that, we have known of people, we've heard of stories, we've watched, you know, TV shows or movies where the child ends up parenting, being the parent, and the parent becomes the child. For whatever reason. For whatever reason. So there's a bit of a, I don't even want to call it a discrepancy. There's just a difference between these two characters. They're connected. Like I said, I asked where you were, Aquarius, so if you're here, this person is on your mind. If it's not you, it's a general reading, it can be flipped, you're on their mind. But there's a connection between these two, and I like it because they mirror one another. They mirror one another in their intention. They mirror one another in what they're trying to set out to do in the world, be an effective, positive change in their community, in their family, in their social circles, what have you. There is really this earnest endeavor to be positive. Now, caveat here for those who are like looking at this with like through rose-tinted glasses. These people are not messiahs. Neither one. Neither one of them is perfect. Neither one of them is without flaw. Everybody on this earth is a flawed human being. It's part of the design of being a human, in my estimation. Everybody has a flaw, and you're just going to deal with whatever, you know, set of flaws you've been bestowed as you came into creation, right? That's my estimation. So when I'm saying like all these positive things about these people, it doesn't mean like they're walking around like they're saints and they're messiahs and like they're better than everybody else, and you know they're some type of guru. They might be, but you know, even gurus have issues. Even gurus have sensibilities and annoyances and grievances in this world, okay? So I don't want it to be that these two are just like saintly people. Not at all. Not at all, okay? Now, there's an interesting ethos. Ooh, look at me pulling out my college studies. Ethos. There's a different ethos behind these people. Ethos is about your conviction and like sort of like your, not your story, but sort of the platform that you walk off of, that you stand on, your basis, the basis of your argument, or the basis of how you perform in the world, your ethos. Yeah. I'm really like butchering that. There's like a really more refined, there's plenty of more refined definitions of ethos, but this is what it is. So I asked where you are, so I'm going to say that Aquarius, you're mostly here, but it is general. It can be flipped. You know your life better than I do. If you're on the other side, put yourself there. Now, for those Aquariuses that this is just going to be a straight shot, this is your ethos. It's beautiful. You're on some soulmate type journey. You're on a journey about connection and brotherhood and sisterhood and bringing people together, or just having connection with one other person. I think for most Aquariuses, it's going to branch out into be like, you know, bigger than just you and another person. I think you're really talking about community, family, friends, you know, your society at large, or the world at large, if you've got those big, big goals, okay? But there's something about your approach to this situation, or this approach to this point or phase in your life, Aquarius, that speaks to connection. Now I'm going for the 2. Okay. This is gonna be like so hippy dippy kind of thing. And I think I have a bite on my arm because my arm keeps itching. Anyway, so 2 of Cups. This is known as one of the soulmate cards in the tarot. I don't normally jump on that, but because of how it's all laid out here with what's all around it, somebody's dealing with soulmate energy. Now, soulmates, what I will stick to as far as what comes out of my playbook or what comes out of my speech patterns or my way of talking about soulmates is not every soulmate is here, and they're not made of, you know, fluff and marshmallows and candy canes and all that good stuff. You know, a soulmate relationship, regardless whether it's romantic or platonic or anything else, is not always easy. It's not always easy. So, because again, this is reality. This is the experience that we all kind of incarnate here in when we come to Earth. Earth is not a place of perfection, not a place without strife, not a place without pain and loss. Okay, so my mentioning of that is to underpin the idea that your soulmate and you could have had or will have or do have right now a rocky relationship. You might not even know this person. That's the other thing that I'm feeling here. Some of you don't even know who your soulmate is. You're searching for them, or you think you know, but you're not sure. You haven't gotten confirmation. You haven't had the talk. You haven't confronted them with your idea of, I think we're soulmates, or they haven't confronted you with that idea. And so it's like sort of up in the air. But the bottom line is there is some type of connection here that exists beyond the 3D realm that we live in here on Earth, right? I mean, it's here, you feel it, and, you know, sometimes it's reflected to you, sometimes you get synchronicity, sometimes you get downloads or hits from your guide, sometimes you hear them talking and you're like, damn, they're like a soulmate. And you're like, that's crazy, soulmates aren't real, and you might talk yourself out of it. But whatever it is, Aquarius, whether you have it now, had it in the past, will have it in the future, this is very integral to your experience right now in your life. Again, going back with this Queen of Cups, this is not your home base, the water suit. It's not. It's in you a little bit because of all the characteristics I listed previously. So for now, there's this emphasis on mutuality, of feeling equal or feeling a part of yourself within another person or within a community, right? And so I think being that this is behind you, I don't think you're necessarily walking away from it or anything like that, but I think it's like filling in the background of your life. It's populating the nooks and the crannies of your life. In so many small little ways, you're getting confirmation of what your work is, or what your next bit of work here is here on Earth. I'm speaking in such big terms, so that's not really going to hit for everybody. But Aquarius, most of you guys, I think you'll get it, because I just think you'll get it. I feel really, really connected to this. And if it resonates with 20 people versus, 250, that's fine. So there's mutuality here, with the Two of Cups. Like I said, it's often described as a soulmate card, and it's usually about equivocation, right? What we give is what we receive, and vice versa. Yeah. And it's cyclical. And you get it with these two cats like mashing their heads together. Now, I've never seen two cats like fully like butt heads like straight head on like that. But if you own cats, or if you've ever watched cats or watched a big cat video on Discovery Channel, you'll see like that is one of the ways that felines communicate and show affection to one another is to butt heads. So this meeting of the minds, meeting of your souls, meeting of your hearts, this mutuality is to show affection. Like the commonality that you share with another person, probably the Page of Cups, or other people who kind of fulfill or share qualities with the Page of Cups. Again, this could be a family dynamic, a friendship dynamic, or, you and like 4 other people. It does not matter the amount of people. What matters is feeling yourself or feeling your intentions and your energy reflected back to you. A meeting of the minds, meeting of the heart, right? Like, I hope you get what I'm saying. Like, I think I'm being really clear. And everything is like symmetrical here, right? There's 2 little like straw pole things behind either one of them. They both got a hummingbird above them. If you split this card right down the middle, the card would be evenly on one side. I mean, I suppose there's a lack of symmetry in the flowers, because the one cat on the left has a little bit more of the blossoms or the flowers on their side than the other cat. But still, it's mostly like a dead-on equal match. So with that, I'm thinking some of you, Like you're meeting this person for the first time, some of you, but it feels like you've known them for a lifetime or lifetimes, if you believe in that. Or you're reestablishing something with someone, and it feels like you never left them, or they never left you, or you guys never had this time apart, and it just like continues on this path of yes, yes, yes. Or match, match, match. Oh, we get each other, we get each other, we get each other. You know? So it really applies to everybody, because whether they're new in your life or whether they're already there and you're just like getting to know them again, or you've never parted ways and this is just intensifying and it's growing and it's becoming more obvious to you how connected you are, it just works. Interesting. Now further down behind you, and again, it's what's running in the background. I don't feel, because normally I would say for someone that's faced away, this character, Queen of Cups being faced away, could be a sign that someone walks away from this or is ignoring this feeling. But I think more because you're so higher up in that court card hierarchy, I feel like this is just like a no-brainer. Like, I already know these things. Like, this is just continued acknowledgement or full acknowledgement, maybe for the first time, of what you're dealing with. Now, further behind where you started, Aquarius, you have the Lover's card, Major Arcana card for Gemini, so some of you might be dealing with Gemini. And this is just a further confirmation. Like, this is a double whammy, a Two of Cups and the Lover's card, another card that is often associated with soulmates. Boom. Boom. Okay? Now, with the Lovers, again, it's sort of what I was saying there. This is about a meeting between the mind and the heart and getting all of those energy points to be aligned. I mean, truly, for me, the Lovers is when we align all of our chakras, specifically like the main 6 chakras, right? You kind of see it here sometimes on my table. Or boom. Here, I'll just show you. Boom. Those are the 6. God. Those are the 7 chakras. Where did I get 6 from? Probably because I'm thinking of the 6 of Cups also. It's not here in your reading, but I said I was saying something about soulmate cards. 6 of Cups is another soulmate card. So that's where 6 came from. My bad. Oh, 7 chakras, your main chakras. Anyway, so I think for me, the Lover's card is being aligned in all 7 chakras, or being as closely aligned as you can be. Because I have said before, not in your reading, but I said it maybe last month or in a reading earlier this month, you know, to be aligned with yourself is a tall order. And it's not a thing that you can maintain every day. It's something you can barely maintain for like an hour. Unless you're like in some deep meditation and like you're like superfied skilled in chakra balancing and opening and clearing up energy channels and doing all that fun stuff. Most people can barely get that shit going for like 5 minutes. So to be fully aligned within the self, tall order. To be fully aligned with another person in your chakra centers, or in whatever way you want to think of it. If you're not even into chakras and you don't understand it, fine. Think of something else. It's also a tall order. Because you're an individual, they're an individual, the other person might be an individual if we're talking about a group, but there's such a synergy here between you and someone else or other people that I feel for the most part, again, not all day, every day, you're in alignment. Not all day, every day, but let's say like 7 or 8 times out of 10, you're pretty much on the same page. You're pretty much on the same wavelength. Takes work. It's not easy because it takes a level of maturity. And if you're not on that level, because again, I think it is probably the Page of Cups. And like I said before, they're not on your level, but here's what you bring to the table. The ability to get there, the mastery of it, or the knowledge of it, or the awareness of how to work with this energy. This person, they might be learning from you. You know, you might be a teacher to them in some form or fashion. Like I said, again, you've been on this journey, or you've been on this road, you've been driving your car as Tony, you know, however long, what did I say, like an hour or a few minutes longer than the other person. What was their name? Deborah, right? So if you don't have it now, I feel that you're going towards it. Or when Deborah, second person, Page of Cups, finally arrives to your destination where you're going to park your car, you know, get out, you know, drink a little bit of coffee, maybe sit on the hood of your car and just wait for them. And I'm not advising you to wait for anybody, but just in the scenario of if you were really on a road trip but you took separate cars. You know where the destination is. I'll meet you in Dayton. I'll meet you in Dayton or Daytona or wherever. I'll meet you there. And they're like, okay, I'll be there probably 3 hours after you. Cool. So you go, you walk around, you might go to the mall, you might see a movie, you might take a nap in your car, you might do whatever. Because you know they're going to get there eventually. And then once they get there, what's in the trunk of your car? What are you carrying inside of your vehicle? This Two of Cups energy, this Lover's energy. So in that sense, you're waiting. Or in that sense, it's already there. They just have to meet you there. Does that make sense? So for them, there's a little bit more of a rocky road. Number one, this person is in recovery. 5 of Pentacles. May literally be in recovery for a physical ailment or injury. 5 of Pentacles, okay? I mean, you can kind of see it there. The silhouette of this person. They're on crutches. They don't look too happy. They don't have irises. Okay? They're kind of messed up. Or they have been messed up. So they could be in recovery for anything. Physical ailments, some type of substance program or recovery program due to substance abuse. They could be healing childhood traumas. They could be healing financially, since Pentacles do talk about money and things of value in our lives. So they could be going through, you know, having to recoup some losses due to, again, injury. Like if they've been off the job, they've been on disability, something like that. Regardless of what they're recovering from or what kind of baggage they're carrying with them, it really is for them to sort out. I feel Aquarius, whoever is down here on the bottom line, this person has a great healing capacity to them. Like I said before, nursing, right? They have, or working in a nursery. So this person has the ability to bring someone to healing or to guide them along with healing, or just be by their side and have like a wonderful bedside manner. But this 5 of Pentacles is very self-contained. It's a personal challenge. It's a 5, yeah? It's surmountable, but only by the Page of Cups. You can cheer them on from the, it's sort of like that, like being like a mom or a dad in the stands, cheering your kid along in a game. You can't get out there and hit the home run for them. You can't go out there and make the tackle for them. You have to just sit by and watch them do it themselves. And sometimes they'll hit the home run, sometimes they'll strike out. Sometimes they'll be able to take the football and get it in the end zone. Sometimes they're going to be sacked. Regardless, you cheer them on. So this 5 of Pentacles has to be dealt with solely or majorly by the Page of Cups. If it's financial, maybe you lend them some money. You know, I'm not going to be able to give you all the money you need, but I can give you a portion of it. Or, oh, you've come into another roadblock. I can clear this one roadblock out of your way, but the rest you'll have to sort out on your own. And I think the Queen of Cups, whoever it is, has that discernment about them. They're not a fool. They're not going to sit there and be the rescuer, the healer every time, because that doesn't encourage the Page of Cups to grow. That doesn't give or it doesn't serve as the lesson that the Page of Cups needs to learn, which is if I've suffered a loss, if I've been hurt in some type of way, I need to find a way to recuperate on my own, for the most part. Pretty straightforward, that 5 of Pentacles. Is there anything else? And that's not my dog, but that dog has been barking the entire time. I'm just now noticing it. That's why I keep the music on, because if I'm going to listen to something, I'd rather hear music than a dog consistently barking. No offense to anybody who loves dogs, but that dog was really barking for a long time, I think. And my subconscious heard it. And that's why we're talking about it right now. Because I'm like, that has nothing to do with your reading. But here I am mentioning it. So my subconscious is like letting off steam. Alright, so I think the 5 of Pentacles is pretty straightforward. I don't think there's much else behind it. I mean, if anything, it might be matched vertically here with the 2 of Cups. And again, that 2 of Cups is like that mutuality, that meeting of the minds, meeting of the heart, and really having this reciprocal affection between you. So I think that would be what you're, again, giving to the person. Empathy and sympathy. I'm here for you. Go, Colburn. Go, Anna. Like, as you're on the sidelines screaming for people, you know, screaming for your kids. You can do it. Like, that's the most you can do. And that might be reflected. They might wave at you from the field, or the game is over and they come over and they give you a big hug, stuff like that. And I don't know why I'm getting like this whole thing of kids sports. As you guys know, if you're with me, I don't really resonate with children, but here we are today talking about kids. So that's what I'm getting here, is like the most you can do is support them. The most you can do is always offer them your heart, your care, your concern, okay? Final on their line is the Three of Pentacles. So partnership of a sort. Not a third-party situation at all. And I can finally say it with confidence. I don't mention it always when I see the threes, because it damn sure does not always mean third-party situation. It's not. I'm going to tell you now, it's not. Not in the way that some people take third-party situation to mean cheating and adultery and all that kind of stuff. If there is any third-party situation, it's because of insecurity. It's because of outside influences of a negative nature. Like I said, some people here might be dealing with some type of substance abuse or some type of recovery program that deals with drugs or alcohol or other quote-unquote bad behaviors, right? And that outside influence, that third party, would be a drug, would be addiction, would be compulsory or compulsive actions or whatever. It's not about, you know, having an illicit affair. So, boom. Now, what this Three of Pentacles is talking about is putting in work for partnership. Whether it's romantic, whether it is in a business sense, a family sense, it does not matter. But there's work that this person needs to do. They have all pentacles on their line. You've got cups and air energy. So this is definitely more a reality-based reading for them, needing to change their reality, needing to accept their reality, needing to deal with the day in, day out, you know, mundane experience of having a bum leg, having a broken leg, having to be off of work for 2-3 months, whatever it is, and then finding ways to cope while you're away from work. Coming out of a drug rehab program, finding ways to cope and make sure you see your sponsor, make sure you go to meetings, make sure you keep yourself away from temptation. Or if temptation has to be around you, how do you cope with it? How do you deal with it? Yeah? So they have, quote unquote, more of a struggle than you do, Aquarius. Again, this Queen of Cups line is pretty set up. Like I said, in the algebra scenario, Tony is already in Dayton, Ohio, or in Daytona Beach, chilling out, or any destination. I don't know why I'm saying, well, now I know, because I remember what's in the news. Apologies to anybody who's dealing with that. That's crazy, and, you know, condolences. But any destination, it does not have to be Daytona Beach or Dayton. But any location, this Queen of Cups person is probably already there. This Queen of Cups person could be the sponsor for the Page of Cups. You could be somebody's counselor. You could be somebody's recovery sponsor, Aquarius, and you've done the work. And the knowledge and the foresight of the Queen of Cups is knowing the work is not done. And I don't think that this page is looking for a quick fix. I don't think that this Page of Cups is looking for their problems to be magically erased. I just think that the Page of Cups lacks confidence and experience and the full acknowledgement of their own abilities. Like, I feel that in many ways the Page of Cups is quite insecure, doesn't feel that they have much to offer. And the Queen of Cups, you, Aquarius, would be there to be like, listen, you just have to do X, Y, Z. So maybe the Queen or the Page of Cups calls you on the road halfway to Daytona Beach. I can't make it. I can't make it. I don't have enough gas money. Queen of Cups, you pick up the phone. Don't worry, man. I'll Venmo you something. I'll PayPal you something. Oh, when you get here, you know, put it on your credit card. When you get here, I'll pay you back, whatever. Like, you will be able to coax them, coach them, and guide them to complete the journey. Partnership. They have to do their leg of the work, though. I mean, well, you do too, because, I mean, but again, you're kind of already golden. And I mean, we kind of have that here. There's two birds here on the Lover's card that are like way in sync, overlapped. You can barely make out which one, where one begins and where one ends, right? And here we have two birds as well, but they're separated. They're distinct. One is larger than the other, right? So there's a little bit of that mismatched energy. So there's this idea for the Page of Cups that, you know, they're just not ready yet. And I think you're there to remind them you are ready. You wouldn't be on the road. You wouldn't be halfway to Daytona Beach if you weren't ready. You wouldn't have even started this journey. You wouldn't be in your car right now. You wouldn't be calling me saying I can't make it if you weren't ready. So there's like a lot of hopeful energy coming from you onto them or them onto you. It's a general reading. You know where you are in the story. And I mean, I really like it, Aquarius. Outcome. I think that, yeah, outcome. 3 of Wands. So here we are on the brink of something new. Looking out over a horizon, looking out over a vista, making plans, making not promises, but laying foundations, yeah? And really like sort of calling our shot. You know how in like baseball movies or in the lore of like someone like Babe Ruth, and I'm not a sports person either, but I just know this shit. My brain, you know, if I really studied, I probably would be okay at Jeopardy. I might not win, but at least I'd come in second. Which I guess you don't get anything if you don't win on Jeopardy. I don't remember. Anyway, so I think like in baseball, especially with someone like Babe Ruth, he would like call his shot. He would like point to the stands, or he would point where the ball was going to go. He'd hit the ball with his bat, and the ball would go that way. It's kind of what I feel here. You or them or both of you together, or a group of people, whatever and whomever we're dealing with here, Aquarius, the shot can be called. You know, because I feel, especially with this person, whoever the Queen of Cups is, a lot of work has already been done on their line. The Page of Cups, work in progress, and that's okay. You know, and the Queen of Cups is not, you know, getting to a point where she's going to retire and she's never going to have to work hard towards anything in her life again. Only saying her because it's a queen, could be a man. It's just like for now, for this in this particular situation, at this particular stage in this person's life, they're pretty much set to cross the finish line. Like get to the destination, chill out for a few hours, waiting for Page of Cups to show up, right? So for now, the shot can be called because someone has done a good portion of their work and somebody is working on their end of the bargain as well. We've got 2 3s. Again, third party situation, if anything, is just interloping energy, interference of insecurity, of doubt, of frustration, of emotional destabilization. Ooh, emotional destabilization, right. Of some type of crutch, right? Not interloping in the form of a person in an illicit affair. I just don't feel that. I feel if there is something that interjects, it's this negative energy. It's this negative disposition or this negative worldview. Okay. But again, 3s are speaking to finding a certain way to network a situation, finding a way, like sort of like a puzzle, or certain puzzles where there's only one way to solve it, but, or not even there's one way to solve it. There are several ways to solve it, but how is this coming across? Because I don't even know what kind of puzzle this is they're showing me. Like, I've seen it before. I've done these puzzles. What is this? It's something about like dots. Is it dots? No, because that's not really a puzzle. That's a game. But it's something about connecting the dots. And if you go in one particular order, it doesn't connect. You have to go another route. Okay, so there are several routes that look plausible, but only one is like the actual way to go. Is kind of what it is. So I guess it is like one way to solve this thing. And again, 2 animals. So you've got, including this outcome card, you have 4 cards that include 2 animals. So that is almost half of the cards, or is half the cards if you want to count the overall. So some of you are definitely dealing with a partnership between you and another person. And in all of them, just about, except for this one, well, except for these 2, I guess. But there's always this lookout. Like there's this one stag looking out and the other one's kind of like, you know, looking left, looking right, while one stag is looking ahead. So it's again about someone is more at the moment, perhaps more capable, more aware, more experienced than the other. But there's still some type of equality between you. And again, if we're talking soulmates, soulmates are not equal in the sense of we have the same skill set. Soulmates for me are actually more complementary. Where one is weak, the other is strong. Where one is strong, the other one is weak. So, for an example, let's say, like we were talking earlier, financially, the Queen of Cups might have more money than the Page of Cups. might deal well with money, might be more savvy with spending. Page of Cups might not have a budget. Page of Cups doesn't even know how to balance a checkbook, or doesn't even know how to go check their credit score. Queen of Cups, well aware of those things. Does that make sense? So it's neither positive nor negative, because in another way, the Page of Cups will have, quote unquote, the upper hand or more experience or more knowledge than the Queen of Cups. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you. Overall, your energy, Aquarius, for August is the Four of Swords. So this is kind of interesting, because, I mean, I guess that's coming from that little analogy I gave you about, what's his name again? Tony, Daytona Beach, right? That whole algebra equation or word problem of, you know, if Tony leaves at 9 a.m., what happens? He gets there first. So I think if you're Tony, regardless of what we're talking about, I think you just have a restful period coming, or you're coming out of a restful period where you've done your work. If you're the Queen of Cups, Aquarius, which I think most of you are, you have at some point rested. You've had a pause. You've had a break in the action. You've sat and you've pondered things. You've reflected on things. I don't think that necessarily you're at a point of great action, of taking leaps and bounds in a situation, but I think you're absolutely more confident. I think you feel absolutely more prepared for whatever you're going to face or that you're dealing with now. And that Four of Swords has given you that ability or capability. You've had time to yourself. You've had quiet moments where you could really remember a situation, or really, you know, kind of go over the details from a removed point of view. Because, you know, if you think on something, like if you had an argument yesterday, this is just an example. If you had an argument with someone yesterday and you go and you try and think about it again today, you might still be angry. You might still be, you know, kind of ticked off at whatever happened between you. But if you wait a couple of days, maybe in a couple of weeks, or even a couple of months in some cases, and you go back and you think about that situation again, your perspective has changed. So somewhere along the way for you, and maybe for the Page of Cups too, they might need rest and relaxation, or excuse me, rest and reflection, not necessarily relaxation, but they might need it too, to kind of build their confidence up. Because I think the struggle with the Page of Cups is they are dealing with a reality that isn't so peachy keen, isn't so sunshiny and positive, that they might go a little slower than you. They might be more tentative or more pessimistic than you are. And it's just like you or them or both of you have had or need to take some time out to really reflect on things, to let things kind of simmer down or settle down, and then come back to it and really analyze it from a different perspective. I think for most, whoever the Queen of Cups is, that person has done that work. And then now the Page of Cups will need to do that work as well. Okay? Aquarius, that's your reading for August. Pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that. Good for you. If you liked it too, you can hit the like button down below. You can leave comments down below letting me know how this reading resonated in your life. You can also share this video across your social media platforms. Let other people know that you like watching my videos and you think I'm a pretty cool person and that they should watch my stuff too. That would be really awesome. You could also subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. I've enjoyed meeting new people and watching the subscriber number go up. I'm not chasing numbers. I just am enjoying that I'm sitting here talking in a room by myself. It gets to be kind of a lonely experience. So when I get to see people commenting, the subscription number goes up, people are reaching out, I'm just like, oh, cool. There are actually people that watch this. It's not like just a figment of my imagination. I'm not just thinking this is a thing. It's showing it to me. So that's what I like. So if you want to support me and my channel, and you can do that doing any and all of those things that YouTube allows you to do, I would gladly appreciate it. Aquarius, I'm going to be back in about a week and a half or so, or maybe later, who knows, doing your mid-August readings. I'm also going to be going live later today. I don't know the time yet, and I probably won't know until I feel ready, but I will be going live later today. And I announced it last month, and I'll just reiterate it here. I am going live, but it is specifically for Leos. It's Leo season. It's part of their whole birthday package thing. Each sign will get it, going in, starting here in August 2019, going around till July 2020. So everybody's going to get it. You're the 11th sign. You're what? How many is that away from Leo? 3? That's bad math. Is that bad math? That's totally bad math. Oh my God, that's so bad. 6. You're 6 away from Leo. So that was so bad and embarrassing. Damn. Anyway, so you will eventually get a live with me as well. But that'll come much later for Capricorn. When's that? That's January, isn't it? Yeah, January. So it's a while yet. But if you do want to come by the live today, you can feel free to stay there, chat with other people, just watch me do my thing. But ultimately, if you're looking for a reading at this point, Aquarius, you'd have to purchase a personal with me. But anyway, I just wanted to announce that to you and let you guys know what was going on. All right, guys, I really do appreciate you watching this video. I appreciate you witnessing my bad math. And I hope everything goes well with you guys. Take care. Bye.